So the question for this video presentation is what documents are needed to incorporate a subsidiary company in Singapore. So here we are specifically referring to subsidiary company, and that means the shareholding in this company is going to be taken up by a corporate entity either in Singapore or somewhere abroad. In most of the cases, it will be a foreign entity in our experience. So let's proceed ahead. And first of all, you need to understand one key requirement. One of the key requirements that government agencies has put forward is for us to identify the people who are the decision makers behind the company. As you know, company is a legal person. So company cannot make any decisions on its own. And there is always some individual or a human being who is taking decisions behind this company. So when the shareholding in a company is being taken up by another company in a foreign jurisdiction, at that point of time this requirement becomes even more prominent because we need to really find it out who are the decision makers behind the parent company, and their details needs to be lodged with ACRA, either in the form of UBO or in the form of register of controllers, so that government authorities are aware about the decision making structure of the company. So the rule states that people who constitute at least 75% of the decision making power in a company needs to be identified. So just to take as an example, this is our subsidiary company and it is held by another parent company which might be in another jurisdiction. Now the shareholding structure can be significantly complex like this, or maybe even like this. So it is possible for somebody to create an extremely complex corporate structure where the identity of the true owners of the structure remain hidden. And this is exactly what the government agencies try to handle. Now, in my experience, majority of the subsidiary companies will not have this much complex shareholding. What I have seen primarily is when a subsidiary is getting established in Singapore, it is owned by one parent company in foreign jurisdiction, and that parent company might be owned by two or three individuals who are doing a normal business in that jurisdiction. I am showing this mega complex structure only for understanding of the concept. So in case of a corporate shareholder, we need to identify the UBOs. UBO stands for Ultimate Beneficial Owner. This is also the person who makes the call for the company. So let's take an example. So on this picture, you will see the icons which are in red color are the corporate entities and the items in black color are the people. So as you can see, this UBO incorporation is owned by 20% of the shareholding is owned by ROCCO, 50% by Holdco and 30% by offshore fund. Now since these three are the corporate entities, we need to go one level back and try to find out individuals behind it. So the ROCCO is owned by Steve Rogers, and the offshore fund is primarily owned by fund investors and fund manager INC, but fund manager INC has only 1% shareholding. So together, Steve Rogers and fund investor owns 49% of the company shareholding. Since it does not account for 75% of the decision making power, we still need to go back through Holdco and find out who other shareholders and decision makers are. So this is again the concept, and this information will be required. Now having understood this concept, now it's a time to have a look at what documents will be required for registering your subsidiary in Singapore. So on the corporate entity, that is the parent entity front, we need the company registration certificate and the company extract showing the details of directors and shareholders. And then we also need a chart showing UBOs of the company, majority of the shareholders or directors with the decision making power, and a board resolution confirming decision that parent company has decided to incorporate a subsidiary in Singapore. So these are the documents the parent company should provide. And then for each of the UBO, that is the individual behind parent company, we will need additional documents, and this should be for up to 75% of the power wielding UBOs. That will be passport copy of that person or NRIC if he is a Singapore citizen or PR, proof of address, and second identity document. So on this chart, the black color icons that those show human beings or individuals, for them this information will be required. And in all the cases, we also need a completed customer due diligence form. So this is what we require for subsidiary formation. Now these documents you can send us in scanned format at the beginning of the process, and during the completion of the process at some point of time we will verify the original through some ways. So in summary, UBO tracing is required for subsidiary company or where the corporate shareholding is there. In most of the cases, this is not overly complex task because most of the corporate structures tend to be relatively simple. Only rarely we find extremely complex corporate structure where tracing UBOs become difficult.
Thank you for watching this video. This video was brought to you by Epica Consulting Singapore. Subscribe to our channel today to get notified when new videos are posted.